Is that on film? My wife just called me a dork because I do this stuff at home. I asked her to come help me, you know, be the hand model, hold the stuff up, but she didn't want no part of that. Anyway, hey, what's up, guys? I decided to hike the JMT again this year. So last time I did it was 2013, man, 8 years ago. So got the permits already, ready to go. There's 3 of us slated to go, confirmed already, and I have 2 more actually extra permits for some guys that are tentatively going. So we'll see what happens. But so there could be potentially 5 of us going. We're gonna go the same way that I did it back in 2013. We're gonna start from Horseshoe and go northbound and end in Happy Isle. So that's coming up. I think we leave right at the end of August sometime, 27th, 28th, somewhere in there. We're taking, I think, 18 or 19 nights out there in the backcountry to do it. And I've made a lot of gear changes over the years in this past 8 years, and just wanted to kind of go over some gear that I'm taking on this trip this year for JMT. I know it's one of the most popular places you can hike in the whole world, really. And I just want to show people what I bring, what I've honed my stuff down to. Now, you know, here's a disclaimer: in no way am I this ultra light, you know, hyper light kind of guy. I do shed weight where I can, you know, if it warrants the price and everything, and you know, why buy a tent that weighs 3 pounds when I can spend a little extra money and buy a tent that weighs 1 pound 7 ounces that does the same thing. I would do that to save that amount of weight and stuff like that. But I mean, in no way am I ultra super light. I don't go, you know, with a hammock, and I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of creature comforts here, including my fishing pole, you know, so, you know, stuff like that people technically might not want to bring because they want to save the weight. But me, I like to, when I hike these trails, I don't like to go so bare bones out there that I don't enjoy it. You know, I bring some of these creature comforts. You know, I carry baby wipes instead of toilet paper. They're a little bit heavier, but they're a little bit more cleanlier. You know, like I said before, the fishing pole, I carry a little pillow. You know, just I like to get that little bit of better sleep at night. So, you know, to each their own. Everybody kind of take what you will from this. You know, use my ideas if you'd like, or create your own. This is just to kind of give you, the people that are new to the trail, that kind of need a starting point for gear. I just want to put this together for you guys. So I'll dive into it. I'll go over every piece of gear and, you know, talk a little bit about it, why I bring it, whatever, and hope you enjoy. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about each piece of gear that I take, and I'm going to break them down into sections and groups and stuff like that. I'm going to start with my clothes. Clothes that I wear on the trail. First thing I'll do is start with the shoes. In the last couple years, I've switched to trail runners. I used to wear hiking boots, but a buddy of mine kind of turned me on to these, and I just, you know, started going with them. I really love the Hokas. I also wear La Sportivas sometimes, but they're just so much more light. I mean, they're durable, but they're just so much more lighter than a hiking shoe, and just more comfortable to wear on the trail, you know, every single day. You know, less weight you have to lift up with each step is better, and so switch to trail runners, love them. I'll probably never go back. The only time I'll ever wear any other shoe other than a trail runner is if I'm doing some type of gnarly snow trek or something. And then I always bring a pair of camp shoes. Pretty much every night at camp I like to, you know, get the old hiking shoes off, and I usually wash my feet and, you know, all that wash up, and then I just like to slip on something more comfortable. So really lightweight, just kind of slipper things that I found at a Target or Walmart, I think, but I've been using these for years. What I wear on the trail, basically just I bring one pair of pants. Sometimes I wear my REI Sahara pants. These are, I think, the cool Renegade pants. And they're always the zip-offs so that I can go to shorts if I want to, whatever, put the pant legs on. Only pair of pants I ever bring. I don't ever bring an extra pair of shorts or anything because it's just not needed. For shirts, I wear long sleeve synthetic shirts that dry quickly. I started buying these fishing shirts from Bass Pro, and again, long sleeve. One thing I want to mention, I don't like wearing suntan lotion or anything like that. I just don't like having the oily skin, especially when you're getting dusty and dirty and everything's sticking to you. So I just cover up my skin with long sleeve, and I went to these hooded fishing shirts from Bass Pro. I really dig them. They work great. Actually has an SPF rating on it. Started wearing fingerless gloves as well. The tops of my hands were just getting worked. I mean, hammered. I'd come home and I'd have a tan line, on my wrist. This would all be dark, and then my arm would be white, and plus it just started scaling really bad. So went to gloves. Been working great. I bring 2 pair of underwear and 2 pairs of trail running socks, and I just alternate them every day. So I get done hiking, I wash up at camp, put the new clean pair of socks on, new underwear, wash the dirty ones, they dry overnight, ready to go. And then during the day I'll wear my hat mixed with the hood, or just the hood, or sometimes just a hat, whatever, Beanie. One thing I've found, being in every type of situation that you can, this is one of the key things you can bring out there as far as clothes go. This is like the thermostat of a car, if you will. Taking this on and off regulates your temperature so much. I think I'm correct in saying that 70% of the heat lost in your body comes from your head or through your head or something like that. So there's a lot of times where if I just get a little chilly, I'll just pull this out of my side pocket of my pack, put this on, and I'm fine. I don't even have to put anything else on. Or if I get too hot, I pull this off and I'm fine. This thing is magic. Beanies are magic out there. And then I take a very lightweight micro fleece. These are great for layering. Makes all the difference in the world if you just got that kind of chilly wind, that you're dealing with. And I wear it around camp as well. Sleeping, I'm kind of a cold sleeper, so. And then, in the mornings when it's cold, but I usually sleep in my thermal pants here, and they're just basic Under Armour 2.0s. Just bring those for cold mornings and to sleep in if it's kind of chilly at night. And then I like to take my dirty, sweaty shirt that I hike in all day and put on some cotton. So I just bring this little cotton long sleeve shirt to sleep in as well every night. And rain jacket. Always gotta have a rain jacket. One thing worth mentioning, I don't bring rain pants. I think that these kinds of synthetic pants dry so quickly. I've been in crazy rainstorms while hiking, and these things have dried like within an hour of being soaked. So, and I'm not too worried about if my legs get wet. It's mostly the torso that you want to keep dry. So, just your basic REI. Actually, this is a Marmot rain jacket. Got it at REI, but works great. Been in plenty of rainstorms with it. Keeps me nice and dry. Hardly ever use it, but just in case you get that pop-up thunderstorm out there in the Sierra, which can happen definitely all the time in the summer. And then the down jacket. This has dual purpose. Obviously, for the really cold mornings and cold nights at camp, it you know, puts that last layer on, keeps you really warm. I think it's 650 filled down. It's the REI brand, and they're fairly cheap. I think they're like 60 to 80 bucks or something. Really good. And also, because I use a quilt to sleep in, quilts don't have the traditional hoods like mummy bags. So if I get too cold at night, this becomes like my hood, and I kind of tuck it around my head, you know, and get in here, and I can pull it over my face or whatever. So works great. And then what I do is I keep, so these would typically be clothes that I would wear. So, you know, you take a pair of socks, a pair of underwear, the gloves, like that. The rain jacket I usually put in the outer part of my pack, but then I have a dry sack, and I'll put all of my clothes that are clean, that I don't wear during the day, which I hardly ever hike in a down jacket. It's got to be below freezing for me to hike in a down jacket. Put all that stuff in there. Usually keep this accessible on the top of my pack, my micro fleece, just in case it gets a little chilly. I can put that on. And that's basically it. That way, it's just all contained, clean clothes. If a freak rainstorm comes real quick, I know it's protected. Stuff's gonna stay dry in the pack. That's all I care about. And that's the clothes. All right, let's talk about probably the most important piece of gear you have, and that is your backpack. That carries all your gear. It's the one thing that you just got to be comfortable with. If you have an uncomfortable pack, you're going to have an uncomfortable hike, and it's going to be miserable. I've gone through numerous packs through the years. I started out with the Exos 58 years ago, basically over 10 years ago when I was getting into backpacking. Over the years, I've tried different packs. You know, I've tried the Levity from Osprey, which is like empty weight, 1 pound 11 ounces. Then I switched to the REI Flash 55, and I have come full circle back to the Exos recently. It's this, you can't beat this suspension that they have on these. This mesh suspension back, it's an internal frame. It's so comfortable. The way it hugs every inch of your back and just molds to your back. And empty weight, I think they're 2 pounds 8 ounces, somewhere in there. They're not the lightest pack, but they're not the heaviest pack either. But what I've found through the years of testing new packs and different packs and stuff like that is that it doesn't matter the empty weight of a pack to give you comfort. It matters how it carries the weight. That is everything in a pack. And the Exos just carries the weight better and conforms to my back better than any pack I've personally ever tried. I tried to go lighter with that Levity, thinking, oh, okay, I'm gonna save 3/4 of a pound just on the pack weight, but it didn't make a difference. It was thinner shoulder straps, thinner hip belts. I mean, and it didn't carry anything over like 25 pounds. It did not carry well at all. It was just very uncomfortable and just digging into everywhere. And with the Flash, it had like these little pod cushion things, you know, like 6 or 8 of them down the back, and that's all you felt on your back. It didn't, this is just like one solid kind of mesh feeling on your back, and it just carried, to me, in my personal opinion, this carries the heavier loads, the normal loads that people are going to have between 25 and 35 pounds on the JMT. The Exos carries them the best for me. So that's my take on packs. Moving on to my cooking system, food storage, and so on. Bear cans, they're required on the JMT. I used to use the BV 450s. have recently switched to the barricades. You just get more volume, and they're actually lighter than the BB 450s. So they cost about as much as one car payment, but it's worth it. They're just so light, and like I said, the volume, you get almost double the volume for, maybe a quarter pound less weight. So just seemed like the logical way to go for food storage on the JMT. 1 liter bottle. Let's talk water here real quick. You will never have to carry more than 1 liter of water on the JMT, in my opinion. There is water everywhere on the trail. I do a lot of off-trail trekking across the Southwest desert, so I understand water carry. There's hikes where I have to carry, sometimes 8 liters of water. So I know about water consumption and what you need in the desert and stuff like that. On the JMT, you do not need to carry more than 1 liter of water. You're wasting your time and your energy. There's water everywhere on the JMT. If you run out, you're gonna have water within the next mile, guaranteed, pretty much everywhere along the JMT. So you just stop and filter more water, fill up. I know it's time consuming, but water is the heaviest thing you can carry. The longest stretch on the JMT, I believe, that doesn't have water is the stretch between Purple Lake and Deer Creek, just south of Mammoth. It's like 6 miles. But it's fairly level. You could still fill up at Purple Lake and be fine all the way to Fish Creek with 1 liter. Not that bad. Water filters, I've been using the Platypus gravity filter for years. It has never let me down, not once. I know there's other lighter methods, but this doesn't compare to anything else, because in my book, being able to take 4 liters of water in the dirty bag and setting up the inline filter with the clean bag and everything, hanging it from something and walking away and letting it do its job on its own is gold. I love not having to sit there and squeeze into a bottle, for 15 minutes, or sitting there pumping out of a creek while the mosquitoes are kicking your ass. I love this method. It's not the lightest one, but again, it's just a comfort thing. I don't have to think about it. I can walk away and go do other things while I'm filtering water, or this is filtering water. Cooking. So I've been using JetBoil for years. Again, in my opinion, there's no other better method of boiling water the quickest, most efficient way other than using a JetBoil. I mean, a cup in under 2 minutes of water, ready to go for anything. I've recently switched to the Stash, the JetBoil Stash. It's kind of like a pot method here. 6 days I can get on one of these little cans of fuel. This is the 100-gram can of fuel. It says it gets about 24 burns, which lasts me 6 days easily. That's burning 3 times a day. And what I like about the new Stash is it's kind of got the old like pocket rocket type of stove here. So it's got this going on, and basically, you screw it on like the old ones, and it does kind of lock in there and boil water in less than 2 minutes. What I like about it is that I can take this off, and I've started cooking kinds of different meals. So I can put my normal pot on there and cook like a couscous or something else, some kind of nor pasta or something like that, because I can't do a dehydrated mountain house or backpacker pantry every night. I can't do it. I'm out in the backcountry too much to eat that shit every night, so I have to have an alternative method of cooking. So this is what I like about it, is it allows me to do this. And this does regulate. There's not a regulator on it, but it does regulate it. And sometimes you just kind of lift it up, you know, hold it over, you know, so it doesn't burn the shit out of the bottom, but it works. And another thing I love about it is all this compacts down. Into this little sack. So put the stove in there, got the lighter for sparking it in case well, it doesn't have a piezo, so. And then I usually carry a cord or two. This locks and unlocks my bear can for my barricade. So all that goes in there. And everything just goes right in here. Nice and easy. This folds over, locks it in, and actually this fits into there. Boom. One thing I want to mention about my Jetboil too, I never put anything in my Jetboil other than water. All it's used for is to heat water, either for tea, coffee, rehydrating a meal, whatever. I'll either eat out of the bag that I'm rehydrating, or I'll eat out of this pot and wash this. Cup for tea, coffee, whatever, and then my spoon. That's basically my cooking gear, and then all of this stuff I keep in an old, sleeping bag, just to keep it kind of all nice together, whatever. I keep my platypus on the outside pocket because, you gotta pull it out. I just want easy access to be able to pull it out real quick to filter water at any given time. That's basically my cooking system. My sleep system, start with the tent. I used to use 1P tents all the time. They were just, lighter, faster, whatever. After spending numerous days now in the backcountry and having to deal with weather and rain, I have switched to 2P tents. When you need to get into a tent and you have to outlast a rainstorm, it just allows you to get everything inside, and you have more room on the sides to where your sleeping bag is not going to get wet on the inside, because the 1P tents are just so narrow and you're always fighting the moisture in a rainstorm. And plus, I just like putting all my gear inside my tent and not having to worry about it, minus the food obviously, but it's just nice to have that extra room, especially when you have to be in your tent for hours in a rainstorm. It's worth the little extra weight that it is. It's not that much. I use the Nemo Hornet Elite tents is my go-to, the 2P. And then my other go-to that I have is the Big Agnes Tiger Wall Platinum 2P. Neo Air sleeping pad. Again, this is, they make half pads, just torso pads, real thin, whatever. Again, this is a comfort thing for me. I use the full length one. It's the not the long, but the regular length, but I use the wide. I used to use just the regular, and I got sick of my arms hanging off the sides and my elbows. Again, it's a comfort. You get a better night's sleep, you're gonna have a better day the next day. So I use the regular wide Neo air pads from Thermarest. My little pillow, Sea Summit. You can see how small that thing is, and it weighs nothing. Blow up pillow. Again, just a comfort thing. Doesn't weigh but maybe 2 ounces. This Z pad here I bring just for sitting, and then at night when I go to bed I'll kind of put it underneath underneath my butt and my torso for some extra protection from the ground, from punctures, for the Neo Air pad. But this is accessible all day to me on the outside of a pocket on my pack, so that I can sit down during breaks or whatever, not have to sit in the dirt or a hard rock or whatever. So I just bought the full length one and cut it into sections, and I just bring a section of it with me on the trail. Now, sleeping bags. I used to use mummy bags. It took a lot for me to switch over to a quilt, but once I did, I can say that I will never go back. The Enlightened Equipment 20-degree Revelation. These quilts are badass. I mean, it's a true quilt. You know, it can be just a blanket. And what I love about it is the bottoms. You know, you can turn the bottoms into basically a mummy bag. The bottom, like 18 inches, zips up, and then that cinches up and basically makes like a mummy bag foot box and keeps your feet pretty warm. It's got all these, you know, zip that up, and then what happens is this goes around the pad. So you slip this around the sleeping pad, and then these clips clip on the side, and it holds the sides down around the pad. Because you don't need sleeping bag underneath you. The warmth that comes from underneath is the air that your body keeps warm in the sleeping pad. Once you compress this and you're laying on it, it has no insulating value whatsoever. So there's no reason to have all that extra material. These only weigh 17 ounces. Again, this is a 20-degree Revelation with the 950 down tech. So real down in here. And it's only 17 ounces. And this thing keeps me warm. I also have a 10-degree one that I bring on, you know, early season treks and late season treks, just in case I want that extra added warmth. But yeah, these things, and these at the top here, you know, you can snap that up so your head's coming out of here, and then you can cinch this around your neck, and then it's cozy. And then again, down jacket if I want a hood to pull over my head. So awesome quilt. Never go back to a regular mummy bag. And that's my sleep system. Okay, on to my first aid and hygiene stuff. Hygiene, you know, basic lightweight toothbrush, dollar store special, you know, nothing fancy. Small toothpaste. I put one of these in each resupply because, you know, they only last about 6 to 8 days, you know, if you're brushing your teeth every day, every night. Very concentrated soap that I get at REI from Sea to Summit. It's biodegradable, and it's very concentrated. One drop of this, I mean, it's so concentrated so you don't have to carry much of it. Very small bottle. This one bottle will last me the whole trip. I don't have to resupply soap. That's how concentrated it is. Baby wipes. I don't use toilet paper. I use baby wipes pretty much exclusively. I just like that extra clean feeling, you know, after you go. And then a trowel. These things are awesome. I mean, I got sick of trying to dig a cat hole and the stick breaking, or, you know, you can't find a big enough rock and the rocks just don't work. This works perfect. I mean, I'm ready to go real quickly. It is so light. I think it weighs 0.6 ounces. I mean, come on, for what it gives you. Always not having to find a stick and having it break and all that. It's just worth 0.6 ounces. So, this toiletry stuff, I usually just keep it kind of all together. Oh, didn't mention the Ben's wipe. So, again, I don't like putting stuff on my body, you know, lotions or spraying DEET on me. So I bring these wipes, and actually I don't wipe it. What I do is I take the wipe out and I'll put it in between my shoulder and the shoulder strap of my pack, kind of up by my neck if the mosquitoes are really bad. And usually mosquitoes, you know, if they're biting my legs, big deal. I'm moving, I'm walking, usually it's not a problem. It's when they're flying around your face and your neck, and that really helps just doing that. So that's what I'll do for mosquitoes. And I usually just keep this stuff in a Ziploc baggie, and this will go in the top of my pack in the pocket on top, along with this stuff. Always accessible in the top pocket, just in case I need to get to it. First aid stuff. Knee brace. So this is just, you know, the slip on over the knee kind of thing, keep your knee in place. I was dropping into the Grand Canyon years ago and got really bad knee pain from just jarring the knee all the way down, and ever since I've always carried one of these. If I know I'm going downhill for 3,000 feet or more and I got a lot of weight on my pack, I'll just slip this on just to keep the knee good even before the pain starts, and it usually always works. And then I always bring another ace bandage just in case for a sprained ankle or something like that. My air pad patch kit, I bring that with the instructions and some alcohol pad. I've had to do a couple times hole repairs on my, so I never go without those because sleeping without an air pad sucks. I've had to do it. I always bring a sprayer lighter, just in case of emergency. If I have to start a fire, you know, if my other one runs out from my stove, at least I got a sparker or whatever. A little roll of duct tape here. That is, if I get a hole in my tent, you can sandwich two pieces together on the hole, and it also will work in, if you break a pole on your tent, the repair sleeve, you have to tape it in place, and so that's what this comes in handy for. A little survival kit in here. I have tweezers, I have some thread, a needle, some fishing line, and I think there's waterproof matches in here as well. Carry that. Extra batteries for my headlamp. Headlamps are very important. Some Neosporin, you know, antibiotic cream in case I get an abrasion or blister that I want to heal up real quick. Pepsid, you know, sometimes in mountain houses, you know what they do to you. So just carry a couple of those for safety. Ibuprofen is very important. It's not like this is full of ibuprofen. There's other stuff in here like vitamin C, vitamin D, stuff just to keep healthy on the trail. But ibuprofen is proven to cut down on mountain sickness by 30%. So at the start of every high altitude hike that I do, whether it's in the Sierras or wherever else, I will always pop one of these just to give me that edge of not getting AMS. AMS is very serious. It'll bring you down quick. I've been hiking in the Sierra for over 10 years now, probably about 15 years. And I went out last year, just did the Ray Lakes Loop with a couple buddies of mine. We got to Arrowhead Lake, and it was like the third night, I think, and mountain sickness hit me hard. I mean hard. Luckily I was able to, I popped one of these and I just forced myself to eat and drink a bunch of water, and I literally within a half an hour popped out of it. But man, mountain sickness is no joke. A girl did die on Mount Whitney in 2010 when I was up there. It's nothing to joke about. She died at trail camp at 12,000 feet. But anyway, Band-Aids. You do not need to bring a big giant box of Band-Aids, people. You know, just bring a few assorted ones, just a regular Band-Aid, a couple of the knuckle, little tiny ones, and then, that's it. If you need more than that for Band-Aids, you need to get your ass off the trail because you're falling too much and you're just clumsy. All this stuff fits into this pouch. That's what I dig about it. Most of it does. So I'll put the Band-Aids in there, the cream, the Pepsid, the batteries, first aid kit, the tape, and the extra lighter. And I think no, that doesn't go in there. And that's basically all my emergency stuff, hopefully that I never have to use. And that's my first aid and hygiene. Okay, electronics and miscellaneous things. I'll start with the inReach. Having a wife and 3 kids, I just like to be able to be in contact, and I really got this because I been doing in recent years a lot of off trail kind of trekking across the Southwest desert, and it just kind of gives my wife a peace of mind, gives me a peace of mind, and it pairs up with the Earthmate app on my phone, so I just hook into this with my phone, Bluetooth, even in airplane mode, and gives me maps. I can text anybody through this two-way texting. It's awesome device to have. Headlamp, of course, everybody needs one of those. Don't need to really talk about that much. My battery brick. So this is a 30,000 milliamp battery brick. This will charge, it'll keep the inReach and my smartphone charged for the entire trip without having to recharge this. And then the cords that go to that and my phone are in here as well. Keep it in a bag because it stays in my top pouch, and then just in case a rainstorm comes through, it just keeps it dry. But that keeps everything charged up for the whole trip. Fishing. Again, another comfort that you don't need. I love fishing along the JMT. It's, you know, I love fishing in general, and why not do it along the JMT in some of the most beautiful spots in the world. So, and the fish bite, and you can actually catch fish on the JMT. Telescoping rod, just a basic $20 from Big Five or wherever. The smallest micro reel I can find, mounted on there, and then I use 2-pound line with just little jigs, little 1/16 and 1/32 jigs, and then I bring a little tackle full of jigs and stuff just to make sure I got some entertainment out there fishing at camp. I bring a trash bag. This is in case it really starts coming down, and what I'll do is I'll put my quilt in here, and then also the dry bag that I kept all my sleeping and clothes in, everything will go into this trash bag, and then the trash bag goes into my pack. I do not use pack covers for rain. They just don't work. It's basically, if you think about why a tent, the fly and the body of the tent are separated, you know, with about an inch gap, it's because when fabrics touch, the water will bleed through and come through. It's the same thing with pack covers and rain covers for packs, you guys. They bleed through and it doesn't work. This is plastic. Water's not getting through this no matter what. So I put my quilt, which is the most important thing you want to keep dry over everything, is your sleeping bag or your quilt. Put that in this, put it in my pack, safe to go. So that's everything, all the gear. All right guys, I'm gonna now show you how all this fits into my backpack. Top lid, a lot of the smaller stuff goes in here. Again, the ace bandage, you know, that I hopefully don't ever have to use, goes in the bottom part, along with the first aid kit, my Thermarest sleeping pad, patches, stuff like that goes underneath, and the ibuprofen and the pills. All the stuff that goes up on the top that I need accessible throughout the day. My toiletries, I'll put the trowel in there, baby wipes. I actually put my tent stakes up in there as well. Tackle from fishing gear, my battery pack and all that, cords and stuff like that, headlamp, and the inReach. That all goes in the top, and I think that's it for there. So what I'm going to do is separate out what I would be wearing, just to show you guys. So that won't go in the pack. Pair of socks, pair of underwear, and my shoes. So that's the stuff that won't go in the pack. Now, packing the pack, I always put the sleeping bag in first. I don't know if this holds true or not. I can't tell you guys, but I heard that you want to put the lightest things on the bottom with the heavier stuff on the top. I heard it carries better that way. I don't know. Another thing that I don't do is I do to some things, but like, you don't need to put your sleeping bag into the stuff sack that it came with. Your pack is a big giant stuff sack. So I just cram this thing in. It fills out the bottom nicely. You know, it gets all the bottom down there really good. Then actually roll my sleeping pad up, fold it, and I actually put my sleeping pad in with the dry clothes in this dry bag. But I actually want to mention, I'm gonna get a new, like a Dyneema bag that they sell. They're a little bit lighter and they're still waterproof. So I'm gonna get one of those as well. And I believe that's all that goes in the dry bag. And then the dry bag goes down in here, kind of sideways right on top of that sleeping bag that's in there. Push it down. Then the bear can is next. I usually put that just up like that, right on top of that dry sack. And then I'll take the fly from the tent, stuff it down on one side, kind of around, and then I'll take the body of the tent, put it on the other side, stuff that around, and then I take my cooking gear, it goes right on top with my mid layer to be accessible, and I think that is it. Cinch it up, and the main compartment's done. Forgot about my pillow. My pillow goes in here too as well. And the trash bag I put underneath in that pocket. That's that. Okay, then this goes on the side here. Like that. Got a water bottle, goes in right there. This I put alongside there. And I fold the footprint up for my tent, roll it up or whatever you want to do. That goes in that pocket. It's dirty, so you know it's always on the ground. I'll keep it out. Same with my slippers. Sometimes during break I'll take my shoes off and put these on. Just kind of let the feet breathe, you know. Rain jacket, again, goes on the outside just for fast access. That's everything there. Water filter, right in the side there above the water bottle. Attach that to the top. I'm ready to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the gear. You know, this is for people that just kind of are lost with packing or gear selection, need a little bit of a head start to figure out what they want to bring, what they don't want to bring. Again, I'm not an ultra-light packer, but I like some comforts, but I try to shave weight where I can, so I'm somewhere in the middle. This is not for everybody. And I know there's lighter methods and lighter ways of doing things, but again, this is my personal preference that I've honed in over years of backpacking in the backcountry and things that I want while I'm out there. That's what it comes down to, guys. So hope you enjoyed, hope you got something from it, and stay tuned for Range of Light Part 2 coming up. See you on the trail.